Hi, I'm Allie.
I'm Catarina.
Good to meet you.
Nice
Take
to
a
meet
seat. Is this okay, this seating area?
Yes, it is.
Have enough room for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to make sure you're comfortable. And how's your day been?
It's been good. I mean, I have a lot of classes, but other than that, it's been good.
Ready for the weekend?
Totally.
Even though it's Wednesday?
The way I look at it, the week goes by quickly for me.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday. And then
Yeah, it's just like, it's already the weekend today. And
exactly,
it's only
and
Wednesday.
then start that routine over again. So.
Yeah, that's always the hardest part, is to start back up.
That Monday.
That Monday. It sure is killer. Okay, so I'm going to be interviewing you today, and it's just for a class project to work on my social work skills and my interviewing skills. We do have filming going on, so if you don't feel comfortable answering a question, you don't have to. Also, if you don't want to follow through with the interview, you can leave as well. And if there's any part of things that you say that you don't want disclosed to the class, you can tell me and I will let them know that that cannot be shown.
Okay.
It may or may not be shown to the class, just to let you know. Okay, so the purpose of this interview is to talk about your career choice and how you came to that, the thought process behind it. And I also may be writing down a few things just to maybe ask some other questions later, or something else that interests me that I may want to follow up another day to talk to you about.
Okay.
So is everything clear then?
Yes, it is. I
Do you have any questions?
No questions right now.
Okay, so let's get started. What career did you choose in social work?
I decided to go under the Veteran Affairs. Just because I have military background. My father was in the Navy. He retired about 2 years ago. And to me, I just feel that the whole Veteran Affairs is a really big issue just because of my experience. And I feel that I can make a change within the social work Veteran Affairs aspect. I've actually looked a little bit further into it. I want to do the Department of Veteran Affairs, also for veterans and their families. And I've also come across this job in the Navy where you can actually be a social worker. So you can enlist and be a social worker.
Nice.
And I thought that was really, really awesome. It really sparked my interest. And I don't know, I've always liked social work, the whole aspect of helping people. I've volunteered in high school. I've continued to do so for the class as well, and I just feel like it's a career that I could see myself doing for the rest of my life.
Nice. Okay, so you talked about the Veteran Affairs, and I am interested in that. I don't fully understand what that means, though. Could you explain more about what that is?
Yes. So what basically I don't know if you've seen, but there are a lot of people without homes. On the street, living in the streets, or going to shelters, and some of those people are veterans. So because of the wars that they've fought in, they tend to get PTSD or some sort of mental disorders like that. And I just feel that these people are out there serving our country, and when they come home, they do come back a little bit distraught because of the traumatic experiences that they've gone through. And I feel that these people really do need our attention, and I just feel that I could be a person to help them out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I didn't realize that that's what the Veteran Affairs and social work does. That's awesome. I'm glad
also,
to
yes,
figure that out.
Yes, and also for their families as well, because when the military members or service members do go off to war and overseas, their families are stuck here. Well, not stuck here, but
Right.
they're here and having to deal with that. And social workers can kind of ease that process for them. So
That's
I feel
really
like I could really take part in that, just because I know what it feels like for my dad to go out and overseas and not having my dad there back at home. So I feel like I can relate to that population.
Yeah. My brother is in the Air Force, so
Okay.
I haven't had a parent that has been away, but I can imagine what it's going to be like for him and his family and his children that he's going to have, and that'll be good if he ever does need help. I can just as easily help him through it, That's really cool. So you talked about your dad was in the Navy. So did you know ever since you were little that you wanted to do this, or when did it really come about?
It's funny that you asked that. I've always wanted to join the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, growing up, I'm like, oh, maybe I can be a lawyer. And then, you get to college, and it's like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, probably not.
I also wanted to, have my own business, but that was totally out of the ballpark for me. But, I don't know, I've always known that I wanted to do something with the military,
Mm-hmm.
and just, when I discovered that, there are a lot of government jobs for social workers, I was like, wow, I can incorporate the Navy and being a social worker. So no, to answer your question, no, I didn't know since I was
Mm-hmm.
little that I wanted to be a social worker for veteran affairs, but I've always had that military aspect, I guess.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And so would you say, you would say that your dad and your family and the whole Navy thing kind of influenced you into that? But why the Navy? Why wouldn't you help
Another branch?
Yeah. Or even internationally? Would you
Right.
consider that?
I mean, it could always be an option for me, but I just feel like since I'm so close to the Navy,
Mhm.
that's the branch that I would like to go into. But yeah, most definitely, if the option presented itself, then I don't see why not, why I couldn't.
Do you see any challenges with going towards the Navy and social work in that? Because it is, PTSD and very
Yes.
strong emotions.
Yeah, I guess that would be, well, yeah, that is one of my concerns really, just because I don't know how I would react to it, because I have not experienced those traumatic events or experiences as the veterans have.
Mhm.
So I feel like that would be kind of a barrier for me, just because I can't really relate to them because I haven't been in a war or
Right.
anything like that. But I feel that I can try my best and to do so to help them.
Yeah. And you talked about volunteering.
Yes.
How has that gone?
Well, I started volunteering in high school, so it was probably my sophomore year, and I volunteered at a pregnancy crisis center for women and children.
Mhm.
So the center or the shelter, it's for women who've crossed from Mexico or across the border.
Mhm.
And basically what they did there was just help these people out, get a job, provide shelter for them, for their kids. And I felt that was a really great learning experience, because I got to see a whole other side of how these people do live,
Right.
the unfortunate, living conditions. And it really opened my eyes, not to, feel oh, sorry for them, because, I'm not going to be sympathetic like that.
Mhm.
But it opened my eyes, and it made me want to help people
Yeah.
more. I can do something. If I can do something about that, then that's totally awesome.
Right. Right.
Well, I also volunteered at Casa Marianella
Oh,
here in
yeah?
Austin. It's a refugee asylee immigrant shelter. So I got to see a whole other side of the social work aspect, because it's a population that I had never worked with, and the people there, the residents there, did have mental disorders.
Mhm.
So I mean, it was kind of difficult for me, just because I didn't know what to the right way to ask questions, just because I
Mhm.
might offend them. But I did really try, and then there was sort of a language barrier, because I am familiar with the Spanish language, but there were other people, residents from countries like Jamaica or France.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like that was a huge language barrier for me, and at times I felt very incompetent, or lack of confidence, just because I really do want to help them. I'm trying to help them create a job resume, or helping them look for a place to live, and at times we couldn't really connect or
Mhm.
communicate as well as I wanted. But I mean, that just goes a whole other way, as far as culture,
Right.
but
So you talked about immigrants and you've been around a lot of different populations, but what is your favorite population? Which one do you really like want to work with?
Well, like I said, I want to be a social worker for veterinary affairs, so I feel that that would probably be my population that I would like to.
So older adults.
Yes and no, because I figure that veterans they could range the age range from 18 and above, because like the people can enlist so
Right.
young, and also the families as well. So I figure like I feel like it's a broad range,
Right.
age range, and I feel that the work that I've done so far is similar to the age range that I want to work with, because I've worked with children and women and immigrants that are about 35 years old or older. So I feel like that helps me, or it will help me in the future.
Yeah, because you worked with so many different people, and so you have experience with, very young to very old, and in different environments as well. You have
Yes.
Navy and veterans, and then you also have people who don't have a lot. So that's really good. Okay, so thank you so much for educating me on the veteran affairs. It's something that I have not been experiencing and, talked about a lot. So I'm glad that I had you here to let me know how that goes. Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't. I'm glad that I got to inform you. A lot of people don't actually know about veteran affairs, and I feel like it's important to me just because like I can relate to it. So I guess when I get to share it with someone else, like, please spread the word.
Right. Okay. So thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.